Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be showing you the simple and easy way of attaching a polo placket on either a senator wear, native wear or kaftan. In this tutorial, you will be learning the measurements required in cutting a polo placket, how to attach the placket neatly without having excess or shortage. More so, how to finish the outer part of the placket properly. If this sounds like what you've been looking for, go ahead and hit the subscribe button now, because on this platform, I upload fashion designing content regularly for both male and female, using pattern drafting, which is the world standard method in clothing construction. My name is Bolaji and this is Regi School of Fashion. In making a polo placket, I will be needing the front panel of a male bodice, which I have here with me. Okay, in case you don't know how to cut this, I have a well-detailed tutorial on how to draft a male native shirt. The link to the video is in the description area below. Make sure you watch this video after watching this current one. And here is a piece of fabric I'll be using in making the placket. This is the wrong side, which I marked with white chalk, and here is the right side of the fabric. Okay, then I cut out a piece of fusible interfacing, which I will be adding to support my fabric. So this will be fused on the wrong side of the fabric like so. So after fusing this, then I will fold it into two in order to iron out the center. So after ironing out, then I will have 4.25 by 9 inches. So this is what I will have after ironing out the center. So which means after fusing this like so, then I will fold it into two, the width side. I will fold it. So after folding, I'll give it a press to get the center, and I'll end up having 4.25 by 9 inches, and I'll iron out the center of the male bodice as well. So guys, I have my fabric fused with fusible interfacing, and I also iron out the center of the bodice. So I will be keeping this aside for now, and I will work on this piece of fabric. So the first step is to mark out the center line. I told you I'll be ironing out the center. So here is the center. Before ironing out the center, if I should take this measurement like so, I have 8.5 inches for the width, and I have 9 inches for the length. Okay, then after folding into two, I have 4.25 by 9 inches. So then I'll open it up like so. The fused side is the wrong side, so I will be placing all my markings on the wrong side of the fabric. So I'll mark out the center. So then from the center, at the upper part of the fabric, I will measure 7 inches downward, and I will mark the point, which is here. Then I will square out the point, so which is the 7 inches point. Okay, then on this line, I will measure 0.75 on both sides. Don't forget, this is the center line. So from this center towards this side, I will measure 0.75. Then from the center towards this side as well, I will measure 0.75. Okay, so here is the 0.75. 0.75 is the same thing as 3/4. In case you don't know how to locate this value on your measuring tape, I have a well-detailed tutorial on how to read a measuring tape for pattern drafting. In this video, you get to know how to read all the small lines you have on your measuring tape. how to convert your fraction values to decimal, and how to convert the decimal values to fraction. The link to the video is in the description area below, so make sure you watch this video after watching this particular one, so that when you are calculating your measurement, you'll be able to locate it at the exact point on your measuring tape without rounding it up to the nearest value you are familiar with, which can affect the construction you are doing. Okay, then at the upper part of the fabric, I will apply the same measurement, that is 0.75 on both sides. .75 is after 0.625. Okay, as you can see, I have 0.5 inches marked on both sides at the upper part, and on the 7 inches point I have 0.75 marked on both sides. Then I'll be connecting the 2 points together like so with a straight ruler. Okay, I'm connecting the other side as well, connecting the 2 points together to make a straight line. So after drawing out the lines, you can see what I have. So this is the center line, and this is 0.75 on both sides. So the next step is to come to this point, which is the center of the line. From this 7 inches point, I will measure the same 0.75 upward. And here is a point. Then I'll be connecting this point to these 2 points on both sides like so. Okay, so after connecting yours, you must have something like this. You can see what I'm having here. From this point upward, from this point upward, from the center to this side 0.75, from the center point to this side 0.75, from the center to this side 0.75, from the center to the other side 0.75, then from the center upward 0.75. Then I connected this point to this point, to this point, to this point. So that is how I arrive at this. So it's time to bring out the front bodice, and I'll open it up like so. This is the wrong side. You can see I have my wrong side marked with a white chalk. So I'm doing this again so that you can see it clearly. So here is the wrong side, and this is the right side. So after laying down my front panel like so, then I'll be placing this piece of fabric on its right side facing the right side. This method I'm showing you so far is the easiest and the simplest method. We have different way of applying a polo placket on a native or senator wear, but this method is very easy and straightforward to understand. Okay, I will place the center aligning with the center. Here is the center front. You can see I ironed that part out, and I have my center also on the piece of fabric, which is a placket, marked out. So I'll make sure they both align, and this also overlap on the neckline. Make sure it comes out a little, like 1/8 of an inch, so that you will not have a shortage around this side after constructing the placket. If you place it like so, edge to edge, it can end up having a shortage when you are folding the placket. So just let it come out a little, so it will not be exact edges to edges. Okay, so once I get the center placed on each other like so, then I will secure this with my sewing pin. Okay, so this is what I have after pinning. So the next step is to take this to my sewing machine, and I'll be stitching on the 0.75 inches on both sides. I will stitch along this side. This is going to be from edge, and I will stop on the 7 inches point I marked out. Then on the other side as well, I will start stitching from the edge, and I will stop on the 7 inches point I marked out. Now I'm stitching on this line, the lines I have on both sides. And I will stop on the 7 inches point. Now I will be stitching on the other side. And I will stop on the 7 inches point as well. And I will lock my stitches. So after stitching, this is what I have, as you can see. So now I'll be opening this up at the center. Please take note, I'm cutting on the center line, not on the side. So I'll be cutting from the edge, that is the beginning of the fabric, and I will stop before the 7 inches point. So that is the 3/4 I measured upward. Don't forget, from this 7 inches point, I measured another 0.75 upward, and here is the point. So I'll be cutting now and stops on this point. So when I get to this point, I will stop. Then I will be cutting along this shape, this triangular shape I drew out. And I will stop before the seam point as well. Do not cut off your seam, okay? Make sure you stop before you get to the seam point. So you can see what I have after cutting. So can you see? So the next step is to trim off this seam allowance. You can see the excess I have here, here, and this shape. So I'll be trimming them off. I have this trimmed off, and I will trim this off as well. Do not cut off your seam while trimming off. Okay. Okay, so after trimming, this is what I have. So the next step is to close the lower part of the placket. So please don't skip this step and make sure you do it correctly. Okay, you can see the line I have at the lower part. This is the 7 inches point I marked out. So I'll be stitching on this line from this edge to this edge. So this is to secure the lower part of the placket. So this is the lower part I closed in order to make that part look neat. So the next step is to flip this to the wrong side of the bodice. Don't forget, this is the right side. I stitch on the right side. The right side of the placket facing the right side of the bodice. So that was the arrangement, okay? Now I'll be flipping this to the wrong side, like so, and this requires pressing. So after flipping, I'll have to give it a good press in order to make it neat and flat. So after flipping it to the wrong side, this is what I will be having on the right side. Okay, don't get worried. We are going to complete this, in which you will see the final look. Okay, so this is what I have on the right side. So I will be turning this to the wrong side. Now I have this on the wrong side. So this is the placket on the wrong side. Okay, and I'll fold the edges like so, then give it a good press. I'll be pressing along this shape. So after giving it a good press, this is what I have on the right side, and on the wrong side I have something like this. Okay, so I will still be working on the wrong side of the shirt. At this point, you have to indicate the left hand side and the right hand side of your placket. The left hand side is where the buttonholes fall, and the button falls on the right hand side. Okay, so this is the left hand side of mine. You can see I have a blue chalk marked on that point. So this is the left hand side, and here is the right hand side. Then how do you know how wide your placket will be? The wideness of the placket will be based on the shape I have at the center. So this is the wideness I cut out at the center. So which means the shape of my placket, the width of my placket will be the size I have around here. Okay, so I'll be folding on the left hand side first, as I said earlier, and the folding will cover up this side. Can you see what I have? Okay, so whatever you have left here must be able to cover up your seam allowance. Okay, I will secure the lower part with my sewing pin, like so. So when you are doing this, make sure you take your time and make sure you have a perfect shape for your placket. Can you see what I'm having? Okay, and I will pin the upper part as well, and I will give it a good press. So this is what I have for the left hand side of my placket. Then I'll come to the right hand side, then fold it to overlap on the left hand side. So which means this is going to be underneath this. The right hand side is going to be underneath the left hand side. So please take note and make sure you pay a closer attention. This is the most important part of this tutorial. So you can see my folding. What I'm folding here on this right hand side did not get to the seam allowance point I have around here. Okay, so make sure your folding stops before this seam allowance, and make sure you have your measurement equal. Confirm your folding. So here I have 1.75, and I'll make sure I have that 1.75 all through. Okay, I'm good. Then I will pin this also with my sewing pin. Then take this to my ironing board and give it a very good press. So guys, this is what I have after folding and after giving it a good press. You can see what you are seeing here is the wrong side of the placket, and I'll be turning this to the right side so that you guys can see how the right side looks like. You can see how neat and beautiful the right side looks like. Me looking at this is totally different from the conventional native placket. So this is a polo placket attached or applied on a native wear. Okay, this can be applied on male native shirts, on senator wears, kaftan, south, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the last step is to apply a top stitch. Now this is where I'll be applying the top stitch. I'll be applying the top stitch on the upper placket. Then I'll be stitching from this edge downward like so. When I get to this point, I will move up my presser foot, then cross along the side. So which means I'll be stitching like so, then and I will stop at this point. So that is for the top stitching. And at the back of the placket, I want to give you a clue. This is going to be as a bonus for you guys. You can see what I have on the wrong side are rough edges all around. The edges is not meant to be like so. So all I need to do is just to overlock the edges. After completing the construction of the placket, I will be locking the edges, not the upper part. There is no need of locking the upper part because the upper part will be finished with facing or taping. Okay, so I will be finishing the edges like so for each placket, and this also for each placket. But in case you don't have an overlocking machine, all you need to do is just apply a zigzag stitches. Okay, that is if you have that function on your sewing machine. If you don't have a zigzag stitches, so this is what you can do. Pay a closer attention. So make sure you have like extra half of an inch together with the measurements I used. Don't forget the width of the placket in total is 8.5 inches. When I folded it, I have 4.25. So you will have it at the back of your mind that you need extra half of an inch on both sides. So instead of having 4.25, you will have 4.75 on both sides. So in total, the width of your placket will be 9.5. Yeah. So it will be 9.5. So with this, you will have extra half of an inch on these edges. So all you need to do is just to fold this. Then you hold it separate, not together. Please take notes. You just hold it like so. Then you stitch. You stitch. When you get to the lower part, you fold and stitch. When you get to this side, fold and stitch. This side as well, you fold and stitch. So with this, you will have the inside of your placket looking neat, and also the outside of your placket will be looking neat. So now I will take this to my sewing machine and apply the top stitch. So guys, this is what I have after top stitching. I top stitch on this placket, cross this side, and I also top stitch on this side. Okay, so this is the inside of the placket. You can see what I have, and this is the outside of the placket. So the last step is to trim off the excess I have inside. So I'll be trimming this off. Okay, then around the neckline as well, I will trim off the excess. So make sure you pin your placket together properly before trimming this off, so that you don't have a shortage or excess after trimming off. Okay, so this is what I have for the upper part, and this is what I have for the inside of the placket. So guys, that will be all on how to cut and sew a polo placket or senator and native shirt. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and also share with people around you. Till we meet next time, when I will be dropping another valuable content from my wealth of knowledge. Always do remember, there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs.